Well, very good to see you, Klaus. 30
Yeah,
years of now of Wind of Change.
yeah.
30 years of Wind of Change.
It's 30
Wow.
years. And actually, I have it for you here. Take a look. Uh, there's a box set. It just came out. Uh, it's pretty cool, and 30 years, Wind of Change, the iconic song. And
Wow.
it's it's like with a hard book, not a booklet, just a book with 84 pages book with amazing pictures from the Moscow Music Peace Festival, a lot of unseen stuff. There's a Russian version, Spanish version, the original version, of course, and a demo which I did like 30 years ago. I haven't heard it like until all those years ago. It was like, what? Yeah, they said, Klaus, we got to put this on the box set, because nobody heard this before, and it's like one of the very first demos. And there's an original piece of the Berlin Wall is part of the box set as well. So it's a limited edition, like a numbered edition right now with 2020 units, and there will be another release in November, which will be like that. There will be more units, and this is a very special uh, limited edition. That was just released at the 3rd of October, where we just celebrated here in Germany the 30th anniversary of reunification.
Come on, beautiful. That looks beautiful, Klaus. And actually talking about Wind of Change, these people are, always crazy people thinking that say that was by asking you, the CIA, for asking you for you to make the song, to write that song. What do you can say? When I heard that I said, "Come on, what?"
Well, I mean, when I did this interview with an American journalist who came all the way from New York City, like to Germany, to see me here, meet me, and confronted me with this thing, like saying, Klaus, do you know? You heard about this? The CIA wrote the song. You didn't. I cracked up laughing. It's like it was so bizarre. Such a. I mean, but then when I realized he was serious about it, I
Wow.
said to him, "Well, when you think about it, it just proves and underlines that the power of music. If this would be true, it just underlines the power of music." And but of course, it's just fake news, and it's just conspiracy theories, and they have they're around the world right now in many many ways, and but this podcast from this guy Patrick Radden Keefe, it's a very serious the New York Times, the New Yorker journalists, became very successful all around the world, because people, they listen to it, and it's like about rock and roll, it's about spies, CIA, and drugs, it's like it's very like it's crazy, and it became very successful. And but I just had to laugh it away, and say, "Come on, give me a break."
I remember when you told me how you wrote that and how it became your idea. I think you were next to the river, right, in Moscow, right?
Yeah.
When
We
you
stayed
came
at the
with that idea.
Ukraina hotel, and which is just a short walk over to the Moskva River, and we all went on a boat one night before the first show at the Moscow at the Lenin Stadium, and it was the bands like Scorpions, Bon Jovi, Ozzy Osbourne, Motley Crue, all those bands, Skid Row, Russian bands like Gorky Park, Brigada S, and MTV journalists, Russian soldiers, so it was like the whole world in one boat speaking the same language, music, and I guess this was like the inspiring moment when I came back home. When we played in Moscow in 89, it was like crazy, like 100,000 fans from all over Russia, all over Eastern Bloc countries, and they lit on the Olympic fire for rock and roll, for Western culture. It was amazing. And when we ran out and we kicked off the show with Blackout, it was the soldiers. They throw their caps and their jackets away. They turned around. They weren't supposed to be security, but they became one with the fans, celebrating our music. And it was just a big party. It was a moment. It was like we watched the world was changing in front of our eyes, and this was an inspiring moment for Wind of Change.
Actually, you still have a good relationship with Mikhail Gorbachev. I remember that when I have a dinner with. Do you remember in London? We have the dinner, and I was also invited to that dinner. And Mikhail been there that was that show that you play in, how's it called? What is always the anniversary of Mikhail Gorbachev? Do you remember that?
I think it was his birthday in London. I think it was his 80th birthday. And we were invited to
Royal Albert Hall
for him with the London Symphonic Orchestra, Well, actually, I saw him last year when we played in Moscow. We were touring Russia like so many times. And around the 30th anniversary of the coming down of the Berlin Wall, it was the 5th of November when we played the show in Moscow. And I had a chance to meet with Gorbachev last year. In the Mikhail Gorbachev Foundation, and it was like old friends meeting. It was like hugging and, hey, Mikhail, how you doing? And he went like, you look great, it's all good. And I said, yeah, thumbs up, it's all great, and it was fantastic to see him again. And he was in good spirits. His health is not so good. He's just, I think, this year he will be 90 years old. So his health was on a shaky side a little bit. But his spirit and his mind was like crazy. It was fantastic. And we had a great, nice little meeting, and was so emotional to see him again. And personally, being a German citizen, to say thank you for the peaceful revolution. And without him, it would have been a totally different story. So this was the most peaceful revolution on earth, the 9th of November in 89, when the Berlin Wall came down. No shot was fired. It was a very, very special moment in world history.
Yeah, actually, as I remember in that decade, from my point of view, okay, I think Mikhail Gorbachev, with everything, with all the movement that he did, but also opening the perestroika, opening Scorpions to make shows, and probably you being part of that flag also of liberty, I think, because the songs was becoming together with that type of perestroika, right?
Yeah, in a way, it was like a soundtrack to Glasnost and Perestroika. And the beauty of that song is, and also the power of that song is, because it's authentic. It was written before the Berlin Wall came down. And it was just because what we lived through when we did the shows in Leningrad in 88 and 1 year later in Moscow, we saw the world was changing. And so many Russian kids told us in the summer of 89 in Moscow, they said, Klaus, the Cold War will be over soon. Here's a whole new generation, and of course, music and Western rock culture and music culture, Western culture had a big part in this, you know, and we could feel it. And so I just tried to express my feelings, hoping for a more peaceful world, hoping the wall would come down one day, not knowing it would only a few months until the Berlin Wall came down and the world changed.
E aí, meu amigo e minha amiga? Gostou desse pequeno trecho que nós separamos para você dessa entrevista? Se você curtiu, você pode assistir na íntegra esse papo clicando abaixo aqui no link correspondente. Esse foi apenas um aperitivo. Você pode saborear o prato principal apenas clicando no link, pois aí você terá essa entrevista na íntegra, beleza? Então, recado tá dado. Abraço e saúde para você, para sua família e para os seus amigos.